Uh, this week, we're going to be talking about how to manage relationships or mend relationships, and not necessarily romantic relationships, because we all have that friend we had a long time ago. We all had that person we were hanging out with a long time ago, family members a long time ago, college people, high school buddies that for some reason or another y'all fell out. Big Al last week was talking about a mutual friend of ours that was having an issue, and they kind of fell out over something that the other guy did, and that's kind of the way things are. So before I go on, I'm gonna play this video here. So my other co-hosts have not made it on yet. That's my favorite girl, the chocolate pearl. That's the lady who's sweet as Snapple, Miss Apple. And that's the one that's lean and never mean, my lady Bean. So they'll eventually come on. But I'm gonna play this right quick, and y'all tell me, does this make any sense?
Why relationships break down. Podcast short script. Welcome back to the heart of the matter. Today, we're diving into the reasons why relationships, romantic or familial, sometimes break down. Trust issues like dishonesty or broken promises can be hard to move past. Then there are differences in life goals and values. If two people are headed in different directions, it's tough to stay close. Let's start with romantic relationships. Communication issues top the list. When partners stop talking openly or stop listening, misunderstandings grow and resentment takes root. Unresolved conflicts, when swept under the rug instead of addressed, often come back even stronger. Plus, external stress work, finances, family drama can spill over into a relationship, adding even more strain. And when appreciation fades and partners feel taken for granted,
That was a pretty interesting thing. What do you think about that video, Miss Summer?
Can you repeat what it said, please? Because I couldn't hear it well.
Yeah, I couldn't hear it.
Okay, let me try it. Let me try one more again. Hold on. Hold on. I'm having a little difficulties here. My other screen don't want to act right. Okay, give me a second. For some reason the screens went out on my from my end. I can only see on one screen. That's not a good thing, but it is what it is, and it be what it be. So I'm gonna just keep going. Let me try this. Give me a second. Could you mute Miss Dream? Let me. This is not. It's not working the way I want it to. Can everybody still hear me?
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Okay, just making sure. Okay, now this. Let me.
trauma, trust can also break down, especially after infidelity, dishonesty, or secrecy. Now, let's talk about family relationships. Here too, communication is key. Clashing values, whether about religion, politics, or lifestyle, can drive a wedge between family members. Then there's money arguments about finances or perceptions of unfairness can cause real tension. Finally, A decline in emotional or physical intimacy can create distance, and factors like overworking or prejudice can deepen divides. The causes of broken relationships are often intertwined and complex, but by recognizing these patterns and addressing them head on, there's hope for healing and reconnection. That's all for today's segment of The Heart of the Matter. Thanks for listening.
Okay. That seemed to have worked. So what do you guys think? Ms. Summer, hearing that, does that make any sense the way it came out?
Hey, everybody. Yes, so that makes perfect sense. Communication is the key.
Okay.
And there also has to be the willingness to communicate. So if you're both on the same page, it makes things a lot easier. I think that's why my husband and I have been together as long as we have, because we've always had common goals, and we've always took time to just kind of sit and talk things out, and just kind of, see where each other's heads are a lot with certain things. So communication is definitely the key.
And with that, and like I said, congratulations. If you didn't know, last week Miss Summer and her husband Rome closed on a house. Um, that was a good thing, and they, especially in today's climate, and that's a part of relationships. Now, Miss Dream, do you have an example of a family member of yours where people in your family didn't get along?
I mean, I feel like every family has family members that don't get along. I'm trying to, I can't think of, do we have any family members that don't get along?
Yes, we do.
Who is it, Amari?
Denari, Auntie Nisha.
Oh, yes, my daughter and her aunt. I forgot. Yes.
So what was the genesis of that, and
And that's the
how,
problem.
and are they trying to fix it?
I don't know the genesis of it per se.
No, what happened?
Yeah, I don't really know what happened. So that's the issue. I know she was staying with her, and then all of a sudden I knew they weren't getting along. So I don't know like what precipitated or what the genesis is. And knowing my personality, because I tend to stay away from drama, I don't like, definitely, I'd rather not, engage.
And what does not engaging look like?
Not engaging means like, that's why I don't know what's going on. I don't pretty much ask questions.
What's going on around her because she doesn't want to be involved.
Oh, there's the Marty just said it.
So, could you say that again? I couldn't hear.
She acts clueless to what's going on around her because she just acts like she doesn't want to get involved.
So it's like she's covering her eyes and ears.
Yes, basically.
Is that an effective way to navigate a situation?
No, are you asking me?
Yes.
Well, I mean, Dream must think it is, but I don't know.
So if you were in that situation, how would you handle it?
Well, I like to, I'm a little nosy, so I like to know what's going on. So me personally, but I'm also like a diffuser, so I would want to like diffuse the situation. But like, then again, those are the two and the same people, so they don't get along because they're just alike. So I mind my business about that one, but I know like what happens. So,
Also, let me get a quick thank you. Thank you, baby bear.
yeah, sorry,
Um,
parents got to go.
thank you, baby bear. Let me do a quick reset. As I said, I'm DFG, hosting DFG's Corner, where we come for chat and stay for the family call. I'm also on YouTube Live, Facebook Live, Rumble Live, um, TikTok Live, and IG Live. You can check my link tree in any of my profiles to find all my socials. I want to thank everybody who's on. I just saw Bean popped in. That's one of my co-hosts or anything, and also I have some for my Thursday show that I'm a part of, Upscale Vibes Worldwide. I got the one and only Dr. Fabulous, and
Hello, hello, hello.
and I also have Madam D, the sexologist.
Hey.
So,
Hey everybody, I'm sorry I popped on late. I'm running late. I'm still at work, but I'm here.
all right, thanks, Bean. Um, Big Al, like I said, we talked about that. We talked about something like this last week. How do you think that the rift of our mutual friend, how you think that rift can be mended?
Well, the tragic part of that is our ideological differences. He's a diehard Republican and I'm a diehard Democrat. And when you get to the point where you disregard and disrespect another person's perspective, then it's really hard to resolve that. To ask me, knowing my feelings about the Orange Man, to write a letter to him on your behalf, uh, that wasn't going to happen. And then to add salt to the wound, he mentioned a couple of white guys who are diehard Republicans who were going to do it. And I said, well, if you got your white friends to do it, then why do you need me? I mean, there's nothing I could say to Donald Trump that's going to get your record expunged. So I just think the deep political differences, and I'm not going to change my view, and he's not going to change his view. I don't see that issue ever being resolved.
I got you. I got you. So, anybody else? How about you, Dr. Fabulous? Do you have a family member, friend, or ex that y'all just fell out and stopped communicating? And just if you did, how did y'all get back together? And if you did, how did that turn out?
Now, are we talking about fell out because of Donald Trump or just
No,
fell
no,
out
no.
in general?
That was Big Al's personal. That was Big Al's personal antidote. We're just talking in general.
Oh no, because I won't say we fell out, but it's a strain on our relationship. This is my baby sister, and she is a die-hard Donald Trump, Trump, or whatever you call him, um, supporter. And it's like I would go to her home and I love her. And she could tell me, especially when um we had our African American president, she could tell me every negative thing about him and give me every positive thing about Donald Trump. And I'm like this, I'm not going to fuss with you about religion. I'm not going to fuss with you about politics. But what you won't do is disrespect me by putting something on my page. I love her to death. God knows I do. I can go to her home and she'll have the flags up. And social media diva, which is her niece, she was a little offended. So she took one of the flags and she destroyed it. And I
Mm.
didn't know she had done it because I believe you don't bother people personal items in their home because that's her home. But we have not fallen completely out because blood is thicker than water. However, I can say that there is tension um, in the bloodline. She'll call me when it's just absolutely necessary, and I'll call her when it's absolutely necessary. But I I
Mm-hmm.
always I always say that because she's the baby, she feels that she's going to be right. So I let her go ahead and feel the way she want to feel because it doesn't bother me any. I love her and that's it. But as far as the way we were close, we're not close any longer like that, but we still communicate if that helped any.
Oh
And
no,
it was
no.
about Donald Trump.
Yeah, I can understand that. But one thing I realized over the years is, and this is just my opinion and my view of things, is that just because you love somebody, and we got three different types of love,
Mhm.
doesn't mean you actually like them or like the way they act.
I don't like the way she acts. And I'm like this. I feel like if I put forth an effort, like I have a person that I talk to every day, that it could be raining, it could be sun shining. I know I'm going to talk to this person every day. If God spares my life and spares his life, he's going to check on me. I'm going to check on him. However, when it comes down to my baby sister, she'll call sporadically. And I felt like I was doing all the calling. I was trying to stay in the loop. And even social media, mommy, call auntie, da da da. And I felt like, well, hey, I'm doing all the calling. It works both ways. She can pick up the phone and call me just as well as I call her. So, and when I feel like I need to call and say something, I will. And if I feel like I don't have to, as they would say, I see you when I see you. And that's just the way I have learned, because I don't allow people to just treat me any kind of way or say anything to me, because I can make you null and void the same way you make me null and void. So that's it.
That's deep, and that happens a lot in families, and it gets to, well, you didn't call me. Well, you didn't call me. Well, you didn't call me.
Exactly, because the phone works both ways.
Right, right. And that's it's kind of sad because it happens a lot. Some people don't call, some family members don't call, some friends don't call unless they bring in bad news, and they trying to, they want to make sure that you hear it. When something's going good, if you say everything's good, they don't want to talk to you. But when something's up, they want to they want to get all the tea. That's a part of dealing with people's personality. Miss Kim, do you have a situation where you fell out with somebody, and did you fix it?
Not necessarily fall out with them, but a lot of my good friends back home in Georgia, I don't know what's the issue is, but it always was left up to me to call to check on them. No one ever calls to check on me. And so it's just been, I guess we're just growing apart, maybe. We've been childhood friends ever since we were like 7 years old. And now that I'm now in Virginia, I don't get the phone calls or anything like that or the invite. So, yeah. So the last time I talked to my best friend, is the only reason why I talked to her, my sister had to call me to let me know something had happened to her husband. She didn't even bother to call me. She called my sister. And, it kind of bothered me, but, I still reached out to check on them. And we talked for a while. She was like, I'll call you when I get home. And I haven't heard from her to this day. So, you know, I just made the decision. I'm not going to always be the first one to pick up the phone and call. So
And
it's
that
their,
makes sense.
I'm tired of being the one that always reaching out to other people. Like even when I lived in Augusta, people would come to Augusta and I wouldn't find out till after the fact, and so, it is what it is. I don't even worry about it anymore. Life goes on.
Yeah, life does. I agree with that. And I think some people are, and sometimes that happens because life happens. But you're right. If it's all one way, that ain't right. That ain't right. But then some people expect you to be the one to do it. They got expectations, and you're on top of that. That you're the one that's gotta do it, or else it ain't gonna get done. And that's kind of like a martyr role.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I've been doing it for many, many years, but I'm at the place in my life now, I'm just not going to do it anymore. Sometimes, as they say, sometimes you need to check on your strong friends because sometimes they going through something as well. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's one of those things that we don't always do. We don't always check on the one. We don't always check on the rock. And sometimes the rock has a little crack and it winds up breaking up over the time frame. And um, you know, you just it just doesn't work. And then you wonder, one day you wake up and nobody's sitting around. Miss Nikki on YouTube saying that she can love a family from member from afar, handle it with a long spoon. And I think we all have relatives or friends that we do that we cool with, but not really like you wasn't as close as you used to be. And sometimes that is distance. Sometimes distance doesn't make the heart grow fonder. It's like out of sight, out of mind. And sometimes, it's just like a romantic relationship. Sometimes one person's doing all the pulling and the other person's just tagging along. Go ahead, Dr. Fab, your hands up.
I wanted to know, um, it may be a little petty. I remember you came to my 60th birthday party, big shebang, shebang. And I have a cousin, he's getting ready to turn 70. So he didn't come to my 60th birthday, but he's down my neck wanting me to RSVP, saying that I'm going to come to his event. And it's on a Friday. Like mine was on a Saturday, made it convenient, but his is on a Friday. And I'm just really contemplating, should I make the effort to work a half day, take a day off to go to his birthday celebration? And I'm just up in the air about it. I want to know what you think. He
So,
didn't come to mind. Should I?
so let me ask some clarifying questions.
Okay.
One, were y'all close growing up?
He's on my dad's side. So on my dad's side of the family, it's really only a couple of people that I associate. He's one of the ones that I associate with. And my thing is, you didn't have to come to the party. You still could have sent the gift. That's the way I look at it. Because he's turning 70, automatically my mind is said, okay, I'm gonna send him $70, even if I don't attend. But he didn't come, nor did he send a card, an empty card, or nothing. So it was like no acknowledgement. And so my cousin, who I talk to all the time, he says, I'm not taking off to go to this event. I wouldn't even go because he didn't come to your 60th. And then I started thinking about it because I love a party. I love an affair. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna go. And then I thought about it. I was like, dang, I have to take off a day from work, or either I'll have to work a half day, to get it all together to walk in and be that person who I am. But I'm just like, then I thought about it. Do I even want to go? Because he didn't make no effort to come to mine.
Well, should it be tit for tat?
That's what I'm asking you. You the
No,
co-host. You the
no, you
host.
gotta, Dr. Fab, what I'm saying is that just because he didn't come to yours don't mean you don't have to
So
go
I
to
should be the bigger
his.
person.
Yeah, but sometimes, but here you got it's a body of work, especially over 70, especially over, you since in the past has stuff like that happened. Was he always like that, not coming to yours, but you expect to come to his?
He's very frugal. I'm not going to call him cheap. So if you had something and it had to go out of the way, or he had to spend a whole lot of money to get to that function, I knew automatically he wasn't going to come because, like, mine was in Miami. But I did that because I wanted my students to be able to participate in that, which you saw they were there. But his is in Georgia. So I'm in Georgia. So people would say, okay, well, you only have like an hour and a half to drive to get there, either 2 hours. You should go. But still, I'm just saying, should I even make that effort? Because You didn't make an effort to even send a
But that
card.
should that you not make him not making an effort should not affect you making an effort.
So
Saying
what you're
that,
saying,
saying that, you also are a grown ass woman, and if you don't want to go and you feel in some kind of way, don't go because then
okay,
you're rewarding bad behavior.
okay. No, see, my other cousin, he just point blank, I ain't taking no day off for him because it don't mean that much to me. But because I'm like this, I have cousins that's coming from Miami to attend the function. So it's almost like getting a free family reunion on my dad's side if I do go, because I get a chance to see some relatives that I want to see, not necessarily going to rah rah roo roo at his celebration, but to see my other cousins that's coming up.
That makes sense, and that could be the reason you go. It doesn't. But what I'm saying is that um, you don't have to. You don't because if you don't go and you say you're not going, that might sound petty, but hey, he don't pay your bills, he don't sleep with you, so
Here's
that
true now. That'll be
he
incest.
can cry in his own beer. Go ahead, Madam D.
So sometimes I think that we, and speaking to myself too, sometimes I think that we get caught in our feelings. Like if we're a kind hearted person, sometimes we think that people are going to be kind to us. I don't know his reasoning for not showing up for your 60th, but we all have a backstory, and sometimes people be going through things that we don't even know about because we don't live with them. It's almost like if someone pulls out in front of you and cuts you off, you get mad, get road rage. And then for me, I look at it different. If they pull out in front of me, I say, well, they must have really been going through something to pull out in front of a moving car.
I think you
So
give
I
too many,
think
Madam D. I think you're
sometimes
giving
we,
people too much credit.
yeah, I think well, that's just me. But I think that we just sometimes need to chill. If you want to go and see the other family members, go. If you don't want to see him because he didn't come to yours, then that's your choice. But I just don't do a lot of negative. And the person that you said on YouTube, feed them from a long handle spoon. I can be in the same room with you, say hello, and move on across to the other side of the room.
Right.
So
It doesn't cost nothing to be cordial, but I'm
yeah.
Yeah, but
thinking,
you can kill them with kindness. Cause listen, I'll make a person speak to me if they don't want to speak. Oh, you're looking gorgeous. Oh, good morning. Cause I have a couple of those at my school. When I walk through the office, it's like, good morning, Dr. Beck. And I say, good morning. How are you? Cause I know they really don't like me. So I'm really gonna make them, I'm gonna make it really, really good. I'm gonna make you speak to me because you really don't want to speak to me. Madam D
that's
knows
petty, Doc.
I'm
Well,
petty. I'm petty
yeah.
Eddie.
And I also think the energy that you give is what you're gonna experience because like you were saying how you could speak to them knowing that they don't like you. And I feel like if I speak to you, in the morning and that's my energy. But if I start off grumpy or, in a negative, which I really do get where Dream was coming from, like she just don't do the negative energy. That's kind of me, but I'll speak all day, every day, but that don't mean I'm in love with you.
That and you don't have to. Like I said, you could love somebody but not like them. Go ahead, Miss Summer.
No, I was just going to say that that brings us back to the topic at hand, which is communication. So for me, in that situation, I would go to the party simply because if it is a family reunion, family is very, like, really, really important to me. So I would try to make a point to do that. But I would let that cousin know, listen, I'm going to go to the party and, I'm going to have a good time, but, don't stress me about coming to this party because you didn't even come to mine. I didn't get a call from you. Don't, if I can make it, I'll try. And I would, you know, go on my own pace at my own time. But I would definitely let that family member know, hey, listen, don't, what we're not going to do is put pressure on me to go somewhere, when, you didn't even make an effort to come. I didn't hear from you. I don't know what happened to you. Now if something came up, that's fine. But, this goes both ways,
Now,
Right.
Miss Summer,
effort.
would you give him a gift? Would you give him a gift? Please tell me, Miss Summer, would you give him a gift?
See, it would depend on that talk. After we had that talk, if you got
Uh,
where I was coming from, if something came up, then yes,
Uh,
you got a gift. But if you, oh, my bad, I ain't even think about it. No,
Look,
no. And then you pressuring
I'll
me.
be, see, but I'm kind of petty myself. I know people who know me know that. I would bring a gift. You know what it'd be?
what?
It'd be Mountain Lion. It'd be Dr. Thunder.
What is that?
It'd be Kook, not Coke.
Oh, you mean like an off-brand gift or something?
Yeah.
Well,
Bring
you know
some.
what? Most of the time when you go to those parties and those big functions and everything, they're not really looking for gifts. They're looking for monetary gifts.
They
And
ain't getting my
so,
money. They got my time, and time is money. So my presence is their present.
okay, well, see, because I was thinking, okay, just put $70 in a card and give it to him. And everybody's like, kill him with kindness. He didn't come to your party, he didn't bring you a thing. So go and be the bigger person and give him the gift. But I was waiting to see what Miss Summer was going to say, if she would give him a gift. So I'm gonna see how this works out. I'm gonna
All
see.
right.
I'll let you all know.
Let us know how that goes. Let us know how that goes. So
Okay.
we've talked
Can
about.
I say something?
Go
Okay,
ahead.
I'm just this petty. Don't give him no $70. Give him a $5 Dunkin' Donuts card and call it a day. That's a gift. That keep on giving.
And
And you
Uh,
could add
uh, then they'll
$5.
talk about me. Ooh,
Don't
honey.
go. Then you got something. You got a cup of coffee. That's it. That's a smile for the morning. There you go. A dollar and a coffee. There you go. Happy
Okay.
birthday.
Okay.
and make sure it's non-refundable. So he can't.
Hmm.
Let me stop. Let me stop being so dang on petty. But a lot of us, we all have somebody that we know. I know we got people in the back of our mind, and we said if they was on fire, would we urinate on them? We got a couple of those people too, and we might be related to them. They might have been our day ones. They might have been, somebody. I believe that people in your life for a reason or a season. Sometimes you got to know which one is which, and that goes with family, because you know, things happen, and how do we how do we actually start mending those relationships? Do we does it start with us, or do we expect the other person to to magically figure out that they was in the wrong or they was in the right? How do we as individuals be able to bring those things together to kind of say and get to a point to where, like, we can't be cool, but we could be cordial. Go ahead, Madam D.
You know, just because they're family, sometimes relationships are not mendable because it take two people to mend a relationship, and you can be nice or whatever. If that person has a certain attitude about them and they just not forgiving of what they thought you did wrong to them or whatever, some relationships are just not mendable. And then some people have so much drama that it gets to a point that the family as a whole get tired and start ignoring them, and like, we're not doing this, every year is something, we're not doing it this year.
Yeah, but it goes back to what Miss Nikki was saying with the long handle spoon, and you said it yourself earlier. Said, and that's what I'm saying. We should all be we should all be cordial with each other. That doesn't mean we cool. It means that we're gonna be cordial and grown about it. Go ahead, Miss Dream.
I was just getting ready to say, I think because I do try to stay out of the mess, I think all things are fixable with time. And I just figure it's how you decide to move on from a situation, because sometimes the person that's really in the egregious wrong, if they don't recognize it, because it's a communication piece, and because people at the end of the day, I find that a majority of things are because lack of communication or poor communication, and of course feelings. And if you're not necessarily in an intimate relationship with them, I think things can be healed and you can just choose to keep it moving and just like my daughter said, I guess, pretend or just don't even deal with it. Because I feel like sometimes things are just too emotionally draining. And like
Yes,
you said,
but
when you're not paying
it
your bill,
also it also but if you keep putting it off and putting it off, it can rise up into something. Then you at a function and they say something, and then you say like it's on site. We got family members. I personally have family members that will not go to places because it's on site. 'Cause
I don't know. What do you mean it's on site? But I think that's because of both of them and their ways they choose to react.
well,
Because
it's more than one person, but on site means if
uh,
I see you, I'm going to swing. You
oh,
know, no talking, no apologizing. It's on site. That's what that means.
I don't think I personally don't have any of that type of dynamic. So that's, I don't know, it's either good or bad, but I think all of that comes with a level of maturity and I guess self awareness. And I don't know, I just feel like at the end of the day, life is too short for me to ever engage physically based on whatever feeling or emotion is
Right.
impacting me.
And we
Well, can I say
confusing.
something? I'm sorry. Can I say something that you say that because you are emotionally healthy? A lot of people have a lot of past traumas that they just can't get over or refuse to get over. That's why a lot of, like, especially in family situations, and a lot of times it's over money or past grievances that never got handled in a timely manner or in a proper manner to where you could sit down and talk to the person and get, like you say, get it all out and come to an understanding to where you could actually be in the same room and be cordial. But some people just hold on to grudges for generations, like the Hatfields and McCoys. So the on-site mentality, that's where the on-site mentality come from. I have this big old grudge, whatever. I feel I'm right, you're wrong, and now every time I see you, it's going up. I want that, I need that, and yeah, when I see you, it's going to be chaos and mayhem, and then maybe after I get it out, I could be cordial with you. That's how a lot of people think nowadays. A lot of people think a lot because people still don't go to therapy or speak to people that they could actually get good advice from. A lot of people don't have that. That's where a lot of that mentality come from. I'm sorry, that's just because I'm around a lot of toxic people, so I see it. And this in the last couple of years, I'm learning to be accountable and speak on it. So I'm trying to be healthy in my thinking and my behavior. So that's how I come up with that.
And that's you know what though, you know, being that's absolutely true. A lot of times, and that's what I was saying earlier, if you keep pushing stuff down, you keep pushing stuff down, you keep pushing stuff down, there's going to be an explosion. And then, but the
Think
thing, go ahead, Dream.
think you necessarily push, like I don't push stuff down. I just don't engage in, like she said, I really don't engage in toxic behavior, no matter what it is or who it is. Not even with my own children. I don't necessarily engage. I'm gonna let you know and keep it moving. So whatever the situation is, I take you for who you are. And I know who you are and what you are, and I'm gonna make you
And
aware.
deal with them accordingly. I understand. And that, but sometimes, and this is just a people thing. Sometimes people mistake that for weakness. Like you could talk slick at the mouth with folks, and they, you know, and you holding it, you standing 10 toes down, and you're doing your thing. But sometimes people just take that and be like, all right, I'm gonna keep pushing and pushing because what they want to do is they want to be the victim. They want to be the one that everybody has attention on. So what do? They get slick at the mouth, and we all know we got family members, friends, even significant others that be slick with the mouth. They say stuff because they want you to pop off, and then they say, see, that's what they pop off. The one of the first things you got to remember is you have to acknowledge your part in what's going in the situation. Whether you're 1% and they're 99% or it's 50-50, you have to acknowledge your part in the situation to be the way it was before you can get anywhere. Before you get anywhere, and then stop being so defensive when somebody's telling you things or something else, or you get offended. Somebody get offended with what you saying. Go ahead, Dr. Fab.
See, I guess I'm that different kind of person because people can think that I'm upset or I'm being facetious or anything. And I just take it as if they can think what they want to think. But I never listen, maybe I should apologize or whatever, but because I'm thinking, well, you thinking I'm upset or you're thinking what you're thinking, but I'm saying you're thinking totally wrong. And I guess I should have a conversation to say or ask because I have this young lady all the time. She'll pass right by and she's someone that I need to speak to at work or talk to at work. But because she doesn't say anything to me, I guess a child could be on fire and I wouldn't say anything to her because I'm like, listen, you need me about as much as I need you, but I don't say anything because she vexes my spirit and I just keep going. Keep going. I know Andreen knew that word vex because that's what the Jamaican people say. You vex my spirit's mind. So she just vexed my spirit. Every time I see her, I just want to just go, ugh. But
and,
I
and
don't.
I think we all have somebody that you don't necessarily dislike them, but just something about them, and most of our battles are in the spirit realm anyway.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, like what we say is like there are some people. It's like will say like my spirit don't take them. Like
Yeah, I could just walk and just see her and not see her. She's like an invisible person to me because it's her attitude. And I say the world don't owe her nothing. Who does she think she is? I'm just as grand as you are. So therefore, you don't say anything to me. I don't say anything to you. But I know it's bad, and I know we're supposed to be quote unquote those Christian women, but sometimes my Christianity get the best of me. I just look at you like, oh, you don't know me, honey. So
And
therefore,
don't
I
don't
let her
test. You be
be
saying don't test
invisible.
my Jesus.
Don't test my Jesus, cause my
Or
Jesus,
play with your kids, not with me.
that's it. That's it.
I am
So
I'm holy ratchet, so I with the best of them. So I mean, at the end of the day, though, I think with things like that, because I definitely have coworkers where it's just like I don't really mess with you, but it's okay. I don't. I feel like between all the microaggressions and everything that happens, again, when you're inconsequential and in the grand scheme of things, I'm not at work for you per se. So
correct, cause I'm here for a check, and
exactly.
and that's the way I look at it. And
Right.
so I don't
I'll
deal with you only here at the job, and so that doesn't bother me because when I pull out that parking lot, I don't even know your name.
Yeah.
That's the way I look at it.
Yeah. So that like stuff like that, I definitely keep moving. I
Actually have a coworker that don't like me for no reason. I'm his supervisor, and when I see him doing something wrong as far as procedures and brand standards, I correct him. But in his mind, I'm picking on him. And to where he in front of customers, he's telling me, don't ever say anything don't ever effing say anything to me again. So me and my pettiness, I'm like, say less. So now I go to my direct supervisor. Can you tell this person to do such and such and such and such? I'm not talking to that man. I'm like, only reason why I talk to him is because when I come in, I say hello to everybody, and then I go to work. But I don't like this man. But I ain't gotta sleep with you. So I ain't gotta, I'm fine. I ain't gotta talk to you as long as you do your job, and I ain't gotta write you up or send you home.
You know that's
We
George
good.
you know that's George Golden, right?
That's fine. I'm a product of both my mama and my daddy. So hey, you got to deal with it, and I'm a Scorpio on top of that. So yeah, I'm very petty.
And that's just funny because it's even at like the job I had previous to one I have now, I would come back and just be it would it would just drove me it would just when a dude you know more than you've had more of the experience than, but he's your boss and he has the backbone of licorice, you get tired of that. I remember one time he was writing me up, um, and I was just like, he was writing me up, and I just looked at him and was like, okay, I'm just gonna take this. Because if I start laughing, the next thing I do, I'm gonna lose my job. Because some people when they pop off, they just pop off. There are stages to it. There's stages to it, and I try not to lose my temper. Sometimes it's hard because some people are just they're just so incompetent that you can't really deal with them on a sane level. And you telling me stuff that I can walk circles around you. I had to do a lot of praying doing that job, and I'm glad I got the job I have now because woo, I tell you, it was rough. It was rough dealing with some folks like that. And when I was younger, I used to cuss people out. I didn't care if I was working, but right now I don't want to be the angry black man. Just as much as y'all don't want to be the angry black woman. Like Dr. Fab will tell you, we just had that
You better
on the
not bring
last.
up that subject about the angry black woman because
Hmm.
I'm waiting to have a conversation with this individual that called me an angry black woman. I'm just letting this stew down because I got something for that individual that called me that angry black woman.
Yeah,
Uh-huh. So
but
don't
that's
you bring up that conversation.
no, I was just saying, we've already talked about that. And most of us, especially us being melanated, we wear masks. And that's something that kind of deals with how we move and how we react to each other. Because a lot of times what we want to say to folks is not it wouldn't get any positivity done. But when we're around our own, we kind of and ain't no money involved. We kind of snap back at each other. It's just a different thing. So you know we got to identify what's why are we fighting? Why are we mad at each other? Was there a misunderstanding? Can there be a way to where we're at coexistence? I ain't got to be your friend, but I got to coexist with you. I don't have to be your lover, but I got to coexist with you. I don't have, well, F them kids, but you know, you gotta say to yourself, sometimes because we love our kids, but sometimes we don't like our kids because they don't listen. And they get hard-headed and you see them walking onto the train tracks while the train is coming, but they ain't listening to you and it gets frustrating. So how do we fix that? How do we get it to where we're talking, that we're having a dialogue to get all those problems fixed? Do you have any idea, Big Al?
Ask that question again. I got distracted.
Okay, I'm sorry I put you to sleep.
No,
Um,
no, I wasn't
dealing
asleep.
dealing with situations where you talking about like family, and sometimes you love your kids, but sometimes you don't like them because they don't listen. How do we get past that to come up to a mutual understanding?
Well, I've had that recently with my son, who's on a cruise now, a week-long cruise with his girlfriend. But the girlfriend's ex-husband is on the cruise because the cruise is to celebrate her daughter's 16th birthday. And a lot of his family is on the cruise. And I didn't think it was appropriate for him to go on that cruise because that's her daughter, that's his daughter. And as a boyfriend, you ought not be on that cruise ship for a week interrupting, okay?
I agree
Because
with you.
you and the mother are sleeping in the cabin together. So that's creating the wrong impression for that 16-year-old daughter. And then the family members, the girlfriend is trying to create jealousy between my son and her ex-husband, and all of
Okay.
his family is on that cruise. So that bothers me that he chose to do that when I advised him not to. But he's a grown man. I told him what I felt as a father. So that's all you can do is give your children advice and guidance, and they either listen or they don't.
Big L, can
Yeah.
I ask you a question?
Go ahead.
Um, they're moving on. Are they in a real deep relationship, like almost at the state of being engaged, or they're just basic boyfriend, girlfriend?
A boyfriend and girlfriend and sleeping together.
Okay, well, that I can understand from old school, you don't want to present that before a 16-year-old mom, boyfriend sleeping together. But if they're like pivoting toward becoming husband and wife, I guess you don't know if they're not engaged, if they're just boyfriend, girlfriend. But I think that he could have gone if he had had a friend of his to go along and not be in the room with the woman. I think that might have been a little problem for the 16-year-old daughter. But as far as him going, you know, I guess everybody look at it differently. I just wouldn't want them to be in the same room because
And
that was
that's
like,
and that's but that's I think I don't think anybody on this panel would disagree with you on that. My point is, and I think I can't say for Big Al, but I would tell my son the same thing and say, why are you going on that trip? Because
Right.
it's
right.
not it's not
But I guess he wanted to support his girlfriend. I feel the support that he's giving her because did the ex-husband bring someone with him? You
that
know,
that
a
don't
woman,
that don't
But
listen,
matter. It's
uh,
it does not matter because that's his daughter and her daughter's 16th birthday cruise, and you ought not be there, especially given the circumstances. She's trying to make the husband jealous, and I, from a mature man perspective, knew that that's going to create problems. All of his family is on that ship as well, so I'm concerned.
so your
And
son is out there by himself.
yes, he's out there by himself. And I'll tell you, I'm not prejudiced or anything, but people of different ethnicities are different. She's Puerto Rican, and Puerto Rican men, as well as Mexican men and other Hispanic men, get jealous of their women, their daughters, their ex-wives dating a black man. So there's some cultural issues there. I didn't think it was appropriate to be on a ship for a week with a girl that you're not engaged to, someone that you're dating. Let that ex-husband and your girlfriend enjoy their daughter together. You're not tied to that daughter in any way, and you shouldn't be on that ship.
exactly.
Okay,
Exactly.
well,
And
since you say it like that, but I guess I was thinking he was trying to support the girl. But if they just, if I mean, I'm not gonna say they just kicking it, they girlfriend and boyfriend, and they're
well,
not
even with
that
that, even
that.
with that, Dr. Fab, it's just from
I would have took a homeboy with me if I was him. I
well,
would have.
even with that, even if you did take a homeboy, and that's actually a very that's actually a very valid course of action. 2 against 40 it still ain't gonna
I
work.
don't. I don't think if everyone is mature, that's just like you're
That's making an
going.
assumption.
Yeah, no. I'm just saying if everyone is mature and they're past that point, I'm sure the husband is maneuvering and has someone in his life. I know they don't think that the wife or the ex-wife is going to sit there null and void. I just don't think it was a good look for them to be in the same cabin,
Oh,
you
I
know,
agree.
for
I
the
mean, like I said,
16-year-old.
we all agree, and it's just I guess we're just at Big Al and I looking at it as men.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
We're looking at it from a male perspective. We're looking at it from a male perspective because that's like I said, he could have bought a homeboy. So instead of 1 against 40, it's two against
That's true.
40.
Yeah,
And
but
you've been seeing them. You've been
listen, they don't want to get into no trouble in international waters, so they're gonna be cool. Julio and Trump doing that
Yeah.
deportation, they're gonna be all right.
No, no. But again, my point is, as a concerned father, and that's the way I articulate it, let your girlfriend, her ex-husband, and his family enjoy their daughter's 16th birthday. And you ought not be part of that cruise. If they were going to have a
exactly.
birthday party, hourly event or a couple of hours here in the United States in Augusta, then if you want to go to the party, you can show your face there and support that girlfriend. But on a week-long cruise, that's taboo. I never would have done it.
And that's and it's all like I said. There's 7 days, 7 days something to pop off that makes it unfavorable. That's just the way I look at it. That's the way I look at it. And then like you said, he's a grown ass man, and
Right.
she's a grown ass woman, but there are times and places to do stuff. That's all I'm gonna say on that. But we have come to the end of another wonderful episode. I want to thank everybody who came on tonight, your inputs, talking about mending relationships and accepting, you know, how we talk about things and handle things. And I want y'all to know that I appreciate y'all. I'm still stuck at 20,000. Try to tell a friend. DFG is back again. I want to get to 25,000 before October, before my birthday. My birthday is October 14th. If y'all want to give gifts, I take cash. Cash. No crypto, no USDA food coupons, straight
We
cash,
gonna
homie.
get you a Dunkin' Donut gift card.
I'll take that because I like Dunkin' Donuts. They
Big
got
say,
five.
get
I
a
can get a
Dunkin'
$5
Donut
meal.
gift card. That's gonna be my new gift for the century. A
That's what's
Dunkin'
up.
Donut gift card.
Listen, you could never go wrong. You could never go wrong with a $5 Dunkin' card because it's a gift that keep on giving. Because when you finish that, you could put another $5 on it. So yeah, there you go. That's the gift, his gift for the next 20 years.
I
That's
like Bean. That
that's
that
what's
was that
up.
was cute, Bean.
That's what's up. So before we go, I wanna bring back on Bean and have her do a little closeout.
Okay, like I said, I know I didn't say have a lot to say tonight, but thanks for coming. I enjoyed this conversation, even though I was here for a short time. Thank y'all for walking me home. And like, subscribe, comment, join, and I hope to see y'all next week. I'm out of here.
All right. I want to thank each and every one of y'all out there in TikTok land and IG land, in Facebook land, in Rumble land, also in on Facebook Live and YouTube. So next week, come back, same bat time, same bat channel. If you enjoyed this, please like, share, subscribe. I want everybody to come back and have a great day. And just put it out today that there will be no Thursday Upscale Vibe Worldwide show, taking a little break. The following one will be the first Thursday in August. So, or the last Yeah, I mean
The
the 31st, the
31st,
last
the
day
31st
of
of
July.
July.
My bad. My bad.
31st.
My bad. The 31st of July will be the next show. And I want y'all to come on, and that's also at 8:30 on Thursdays. Um, come join us. It's chaotic, it's fun, it's all of that. So I want y'all to enjoy the rest of your week. And remember, if you can't laugh at yourself, find somebody else to laugh at. Good night.
Good night.